Hi friends! Before we start, let's talk about our feelings for a second. I woke up this morning feeling really frustrated. I'm used to having a lot of materials to get inspiration from, and I have my cart and my classroom, and I know where everything is, and at home, I really don't have that, and some of you might not have that either, which makes it a little challenging to teach an art class. But we're artists, and artists are resourceful. When you're resourceful, you think of creative ways to solve a problem. And so I can't think of anybody more resourceful than Henri Matisse, who was a very famous painter who had a big problem. So let's read about Henri Matisse and maybe we can get some inspiration from him. Henri's Scissors by Jeanette Winter. So excited, the pages are getting stuck. In a small weaving town in France, a young boy named Henri-Émile Benoit Matisse watched his mother paint china. China is a type of ceramic glass, like a mug. He wanted to paint too. Oh, that's such a beautiful teapot. I want to paint that. He drew pictures in the sand. And he drew pictures in his school books. Oh no, I don't know if that's such a great choice. When Henri was a young man, he drew pictures in his law books and on his contracts, deeds, and wills. I don't think that's a very good choice. Henri was sick in bed with appendicitis one winter. His mother gave him a box of paints, and he painted until he was well. Oh, so we already see him being resourceful. He's sick in bed, and so he decides to use that time to paint. I love that, working on your art skills no matter what. He kept on painting, forgot about law, and left his small town to be an artist in Paris. Henri painted pictures day after day, and year after year. Wow, he's such a grown-up artist now. He was happy, and his paintings made people happy. But when Matisse was an old man, he fell ill. So ill, he couldn't paint. So ill, he couldn't sit up. So ill, he could only lie in his bed and sleep. His paintings floated by in his dreams. So when he became a grown-up, look at all these amazing paintings that he made. These are real-life paintings that you can go see at the MoMA. But now he's sick, and he can't even sit up. How are you going to paint when you can't sit? Matisse finally opened his eyes, and they were filled with sadness. Now he must remain in bed or use a wheelchair. Would he ever have the energy to paint again? I don't know. That sounds like a really big problem. He's sick and he has to use a wheelchair, and painters are always standing on their easels. Can you think of a way that Henri Matisse might be resourceful and find a way to paint again? Well, let's see what happens. When Matisse was strong enough to travel, he went to the seaside. The sea air helped him get well. Before long, he sat up. And a little later, he drew. Wow, I really like the perseverance that we're seeing from Henri Matisse. He's not going to let anything stop him from learning. Then, one day, Matisse picked up a pair of scissors and cut out shapes from painted paper. He was drawing with scissors. A pair of scissors is a wonderful instrument. Wow, look at all those shapes. I see some geometric shapes. It's a lot of organic shapes. I love it. Matisse can cut paper all day. And this is a real quote from him. My pleasure in cutting things out grows even greater. Why didn't I think of it earlier? Because he didn't have a reason to. It's only when he was forced to be resourceful that he thought of this amazing idea of making works of art just from scissors and paper. His assistants painted paper for him all day. It seems that I am in a second life. Oh, and he's in a second life because now his artwork is just completely different. No one is making art like this in the whole world. Paper cutouts covered his walls. Look how beautiful. It's so unique. I've never seen anything like that. One evening, Matisse lay in bed and drew the faces of his grandchildren on the ceiling with a piece of chalk tied to a long pole. Wow, he's even finding ways to draw on the ceiling without having to get up from bed. That's so cool. As he fell asleep, they looked down on him and saw him in his dreams. Aww. They saw shapes that surrounded him in sleep. So even in his sleep, Matisse is thinking about all the amazing art that he knows how to make now. As time went on, Matisse cut bigger and bigger shapes. They filled his seaside room with color. You see, as I am obliged to remain often in bed, obliged means you have to do it a lot, I have made a little garden all around me where I can walk. There are leaves, fruits, a bird. Oh, so Matisse can't go visit gardens, so he just brought the garden to him. How resourceful. I am deeply contented. That means happy. Wow, I love those shapes. They're so interesting. Then one night, Matisse walked out into his paper garden, and the rainbow of shapes cradled the old artist and carried him into the sky. Oh, I see so many colors. I see green and blue and orange. Are some of the stars we see at night coming to us from Henri's scissors? Maybe. Look, there he is, making paper stars for everybody to enjoy. How nice. The end. Wow. That's a really inspiring story, and I'm really glad we read it together. We saw Henri Matisse go from being a really, really good painter to having this huge setback of not being able to paint anymore. But he didn't give up. He didn't just decide to be sad. And, I'm not going to just give up either. We're going to have some really great times here learning art together. And it doesn't matter if we don't have our classroom or our supplies, because we're going to persevere and we're going to be resourceful, and we're all just going to learn because we're great artists. I miss you. If you like this story, you can write a comment down in the thingy, whatever it is. You can write a comment and tell me what you liked about this story. And tomorrow, I'm going to show you guys what I did to be resourceful and still make art.